Okay, in the Marlowe tutorial, down near the bottom, I'm actually in the section over here that is Actus and Marlowe, section 13. They give you a sample contract that I'd like you to actually take. This is for homework, and put this contract in and actually try the exercise down here that I've highlighted. Give a variant of this, which is necessary to put the full value up, and try it. I want you to go and run it and try it with different kinds of values so that you've got some practice with the Marlowe playground. And then make certain that you go and fill in the document online. And I will send out a written thing for this, but basically this is to get you to go and practice with this. The interesting thing about the entire Marlowe system, at least to me, is how it relates to time. And, usually when we build a piece of software, we expect, and this is what we've learned over years to do, we expect it to run in a sequential fashion. That you do one step, you do the next step, you do the next step. In Marlowe, this is not how it works. Okay, the contract actually shrinks as events occur. And either it reaches a point of success or a point of failure. But at that point in time when it does failure, you've reached a refund state because things have timed out usually, or something hasn't been done correctly. Or you have it shrinking down to a final result state. And this is a completely different view of how to build code than we're used to. That is part of the reason why I'm really interested in Marlowe. The other thing is that I've been teaching a class in hardware, and the hardware class we deal with real concurrency. So this seems to be my semester for dealing with how different timing things affect how you build code, and which things are really concurrent and which ones aren't. And this is completely different than programs that I'm used to. So go and give it a try and do this exercise. It's not so much to produce a better contract as it is to get some experience with a different kind of programming. And I'd like you to both build the contract as text and also use the graphical block builder and go in and build the contract and simulate it, run it with some different values. Try out some negative values, try out what happens when you run the simulator and you let it time out, and see what the results are. In terms of turning stuff in, give me a screen capture of your things to turn in to show that you've actually gone and built this exercise, and a copy of the code that you built when you change it to have a full value deposit up front. The basic idea behind this kind of a bond, and this is why this is useless, is you sell bonds so that you can raise money, which means you don't have the money to deposit first. But go and give this weird version of a bond a try, and let's see what we get out of it besides some understanding of a completely different programming paradigm.